بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 21. Previous lesson we did start and we mentioned few points. I was planning to finish it in the previous lesson, but there are some important aspects that we didn't discuss then. So inshallah we will quickly touch upon them. So we did say that this is a new segment, new section is starting till ayah number 39. And previously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us about three different types of groups. Those people who are ready to give everything in the path of Allah, they themselves, as well as everything that belongs to them. So proper sincerity, they are muttaqeen basically. The second group, we had the vicious criminals, pride, full of ego, hasad and so on, the kuffar. And then we had the third types of groups, where on the face they showed one image, internally they were different. So they were smiling and giggling and happy being a Muslim and so on. But internally, or when it became to follow Islam properly or thoroughly, they said no, our cultures, our ways, our people. So this was their mentality. Now in here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks to everyone. It's not speaking to one set of group, it's to everyone. That Ya ayyuhan nasu, it's called khitab aam, speaking to everyone. And in here, the way it starts, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala affirms tawheed, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you should all worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. And on this Allah brings 5 different proofs. And one of the proof has been mentioned in here. الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ, that He has created you, and وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ, He has created you and those people before you. In here, it requires me to talk about evolution. Yeah, it's important, but we do not have much time to discuss those matters. But it's in the schools and colleges, the theory of evolution, which is basically Darwinism, that has been pushed on people's faces so much that it has become that's the only reality. If anyone believes on anything else, then they believe they are like backwards. This is their mentality that have been pushed in the people's mind. However, even in those same people, who do not believe in any God or things like that, they have other theories that's out there. It's the only evolution theory. Or basically, even if you were to say the one that they were talking about, the evolution theory, which is from Darwin, there was another guy. I was recently researching this. Before 1990s, there was another guy. His name was Wallace. Before they used to call it Darwinian evolution theory, they used to be called Darwinian and Wallace theory. So there was another person included in this. And that person later on changed his view. He said that the human beings, not for talking about the animals, we don't have an issue with animals changing as the time passes by. We don't have any problem with that. We have a problem with the human beings, that the human have started from monkeys. We don't believe in this. Yeah. So this is the real. So they said that it cannot be right. It does not. This evolution theory does not apply to human beings, because even if you were to bring someone from Amazon forest or maybe from North America, they don't understand anything. But if you were to send them to Oxford or Cambridge, they have same capacity, same intelligence, and so on, that they can understand. So it does not mean that this evolution had applied to their capacity of understanding and so on. That's a long topic and it requires lots of time. But the reason in here, the first evidence that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings, that He has created you. So if He has created you, it is natural that you turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, both in scientific way, but other is if you understand it in this fashion, if someone do favors on you, someone gives you things, what is the natural response to that? That you become thankful to Allah. So if He has created you, like later on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about that He has created for you the earth, He has created for you the sky, the things that are between them. So all sorts of things that Allah has created for you, what is in return of that? You turn to Him in thanks. So you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do you thank Allah? You thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through His ibadah. There's no other way. So thank you Allah, that's it, done. Go do whatever you need to do. The response in the thank of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala thoroughly. No, sometime you worship, another time you don't. Like you pray salah and then you do whatever you need to do. No. From one salah to another salah. All throughout you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not that you read adhkar and maybe you always read the Quran, always standing in salah. This is not the ibadah you're talking about. It is everything that, for example, you're walking on the street and you lower your gazes, because you remember in the Quran, قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ. You lower your gazes, that's it. You recited the Quran and you are worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Someone is about to swear, and you tell the guy to calm down, don't swear. Or you're about to swear, or you're about to become angry at something foolish. You calm yourself down, you have done worship. Now you want to study, you want to understand the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what Allah has created. So you're going in and out of university, colleges, and these are ibadats, all are these. So it's not the only you standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in salah, this is not the only ibadah. It's the 24/7. But as long as they are in the boundaries of Allah, the things which Allah has permitted for you, and you understand that yes, this has been permitted from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you do it. For example, sometime even listening to your parents, listening to the parents is something amazing, you must do it, it's not like a no. But sometimes even listening to them could be against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, your dad tell you, take this money, bring naswar for me, or take this money, buy cigarette, or this, do this and this and this, you said no. And if you said yes, you're going against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what is the real crux of the matter is that anything that Allah has permitted for me, I will do it. Anything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has stopped me from, I will stop. That's your ibadah throughout. Even going to the toilet, sitting on the toilet, and whatever you need to do there, as long as it is done for the right purpose, it is from the form of ibadah. So I hope this point makes sense. So this is basically has been done. Ya ayyuhan nasu u'budu rabbakum. Let's go quick to the ayats, even though I spend lots of time on this, but let's inshallah we'll do it quickly. So it starts from Ya ayyuhan nas. And nas has been used, and here is everyone. Like other prophets have come, yeah, وَإِلَى ثَمُودَ أَخَاهُمْ صَالِحًا قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ, so many places, yeah. They used to be sent to just a nation, to certain people. Even Isa alayhi salam, he was sent to إِلَى بَنِي إِسْرَائِيل, to certain groups of people. Yeah, so previously it was just prophet was sent to certain groups of people. Now in here is for everyone. Everyone has to, the Quran is not just Muslims. It belongs to everyone else. Everyone else can take benefit from it, and anyone else can go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through this very Quran. Rasul belongs to everyone, even Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is. Because this is the Rasul's book has come to Rasul, so the Prophet of Allah, which is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is for all as well. And there are ayats in the Quran, but we don't have time to quote those. Okay, now, as we said previously, that the ibadah that we do for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is not just like forced. It's not in aggressive manner. It is most of it is because of love, because we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We go love, we go fear, we have hope in Allah. All those are inclusive in this. Even the ulama talks about this, yeah, that even when we start to enter the fold of Islam, it starts with love. You say La ilaha illallah, and they say the ilah that comes out from aliha, which means that you are so much in love with a being. Because you all rely on him, you turn to him. This is what basically comes out from, and it's full of love. So this is who we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, there is called a tough love as well. So we do not get, you call it, like it comes in Quran, Ya ayyuhal insanu ma gharraka bi rabbika al-kareem. Do not become heedless of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not be conned by shaitan, basically. Do not get deceived by shaitan concerning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us respite. Even though we're doing crimes, we all know what kind of things that we're doing, but Allah is not bringing his wrath on us. Yeah, he's not punishing us straight away. We are being let go. You do whatever you need to do, but come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So do not take advantage of this mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "U'budu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum." Worship your Lord who created you. So as we talked about this previously, but this is basically the entire summary of Quran. If you want to know what Quran is talking about, this is the ayah. If you understood this ayah or this concept that has been talked about in this ayah, you have understood the entire Quran. What do you need to know about Allah? That He is your master. What do you need to know about yourself? That you're the slave of Allah. This is basically everything the Quran is talking about. That we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Allah hasn't created the ins and jinn, but to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the entire purpose of the Quran. If this is understood, we have understood everything. And in here, the speech that has been talked about so far, we said love, 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 and so on, yeah? There's other people, yeah, like Christians, they believe that this world is cursed and we are cursed and so on. Jesus had to come and he had to be killed for us to be forgiven, for us to be loved by Allah. Allah is here telling you, Ya ayyuhan nasu u'budu rabbakum, your master. This is out of love. Like we said, from the Rabb is Murabbi, the one who nourishes us, the one who keeps us going, the one who continuously give us, the one who loves us, the one who cares for us. All these are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If He does this for us, does He hate us? Has He created this earth as a punishment? No. So that concept is completely wrong and is falsified by this. Like even come in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِلَّا مَنْ رَحِمَ رَبُّكَ وَلِذَلِكَ خَلَقَهُمْ. That Allah has created us for His mercy. And what did we say? For mercy is love, continuous and extremely love. Rahim, this comes from like Rahman Rahim, yeah? Extremely loving, extremely caring. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for this purpose Allah has created us. Allah hasn't created us to punish us or to cause us whatever these people think, yeah? That Jesus had to come for our sins and so on. That's all wrong. It doesn't have anything to do with Islam. There is even poetry, but forget that. Let's go to the next part, which is وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ, and those before you. So He created you as well as before. Like you will find some stupid people, yeah? If you ask them, who created you? They're like, mom and dad. No, your mom and dad didn't create you. Like it goes back to that evolution problem that we talked about earlier, yeah? It has to start somewhere. Who started that something? It requires someone. So this is a response to that. And sometimes, you see in here they're talking about ibadah. People sometimes do not worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala truly. They do not want to implement Islam in their lives properly because of what their culture or what their forefathers were doing previously. So Allah is reminding you that He is master of you as well as the one whom you look up to. the one who you are in awe of. Instead of you being in awe of them, you should be awe of the one who created them. So it is like the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks is beautiful. And also there is a sign. Yeah, it's a sign that there were people before you. Yeah, that you will become a sign for someone else. Meaning you're going to pass away, you're going to go. You're not going to stay here eternally. The one who were closer to you, yeah, that's why it says min qablikum, the one who were before you. I mean the one who you were close to, they were gone. So you will be going as well. So this in here is a sign. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, that you may become righteous, that you may become mindful. And this is important. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala call us toward tawheed? So we do not become from those people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned previously. That we do not fall to the traps of kuffar, we do not fall to the traps of munafiqun, so we don't become from them. So this is basically what's talking about. And here is also a responsibility that has been given to us. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. This is that you become mindful, meaning this is yours. Do not think that somehow you makes a dua, you ask someone, make dua for me that Allah guide me, make dua that Allah give me tawfiq and this and this. No, you need to take your action with your own hands as well. Do not think that someone's dua, or maybe, I don't know, something will happen out of the blue. You need to work for it. This was we talked about, that you need to worship Allah, meaning take actions. Do not live in supernatural kind of environment. And also there is another point, and it's very important, and inshallah end in here, even though I'm skipping so many things. This ayah is loaded with so many beautiful points. But this last point is very crucial. And here, Allah changes the entire sequence of something that we normally believe in. What do we say? That those people who are righteous, those people who are mashallah guys, they worship Allah. Yeah? This is our normal concept. That those people who are maybe long beards and whatever they have, yeah, they are the one who are truly worshipping Allah. In here, Allah changes the entire sequence. That you need to worship Allah. You need to do actions. You need to do something. Whatever it is. Allah does not specify. Do something. Why? So you become righteous. Meaning the actions are required for one to become a pious. It's not that those people who do good action, they are the pious one. This is not like automatic stamp is given to them. The thing which is required is required from everyone. Ya ayyuhan nas, everyone. It does not require a special category of people. Those people who have spent lots of time with Quran, who praise 5 times a day and this and this and this and these things they need to list, and then they will be called muttaqin. No. Anyone, whoever tries to whatever incapacity, because some people can do lots, other people can't because of their, for example, it becomes extended. But for example, I have lots of time because of my environment situation. I can spend lots of time with Quran, don't have a problem. However, there will be people who does taxi and he got the entire household on them. Yeah, if he stops taxi or if he stops that job, which he does about 9-10 hours a day, 5 days a week, the family will be in a big mess, yeah, financial problems. So he cannot leave that in order for him to sit 5-6 hours in the masjid or in the front of Quran, even though he is required to do so as much as he can in his capacity. So Allah is not going to hell him for that, because he needs to do, that's an obligation, that's farad zul. He needs to do that. He needs to do that, and whatever capacity he can do, whatever free time Allah has given to this person, he needs to utilize that in his own time. So not everyone, like he comes in Quran, and then we'll finish inshallah. Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. What do we ask Allah for? Do we ask Allah for the goal, or we ask Allah for the path? For the path. The road is huge. Some people have gone as like Abu Bakr, Umar and so on. They have done whatever they could do. So they have gone far ahead of us. But what we need to do, we need to just reach the road. When you take 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, it does not matter. Spend miles on it, does not matter. But you need to reach that road. You need to be there. You need to show your effort. Allah looks at the effort. Allah does not look at the quantity of it. As long as you are there, as long as you're sincere, Allah will accept. So may Allah make us from those who are true and sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah keep us protected. May Allah make us from those people who are muttaqeen. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ.